She was walking down the stairs when strange sounds made her stop. Something felt wrong. She followed the noise to the bedroom and slowly opened the door. Inside, her world ended. On the floor were 2 pairs of shoes, one man's, one woman's. And on the bed, her husband was having sex with another woman. She didn't scream. She didn't speak. She quietly closed the door, walked away, sat in a corner, and broke down in silence. The man she loved had just destroyed her. And without a single word, her entire life crumbled. Haesu thought, I can't remember if it was from a movie or a TV show, but there was a line about how you can never go back once you see your partner having sex with someone else. It's that dream again, the one where I catch my husband sleeping with another woman. Oh, when did I fall asleep? My break's almost over. Time to get back to work. There you are, Haesu, her boss called. Yes, she replied. Can I talk to you for a minute? He handed her an envelope. Here. You were asking for an advance on this month's pay, right? This right here should be 1.5 million won. I had to scrape the cash together since they said I couldn't transfer it to your account, but I figured I owed you that much, since you do so much hard work for us. You're practically family to us at this point, you know. Haesu bowed deeply. Thank you so much, sir. By the way, he added, are you still trying to pay off the, you know? She chuckled, yes. The interest rates are brutal these days, unfortunately. What about your husband? Didn't you say he just got a new job? He's still on probation, so he's not getting paid much yet. But it's okay. We're both working hard to make things better. Well, that's good. He better be working as hard as his wife. Now, let's get back to work. It's almost closing time. At the counter, Haesu was dealing with a customer. Ajumma, 2 more orders of pork belly, one woman shouted. Coming right up. Here you go. Enjoy, Haesu replied. Make sure to eat too. You've been grilling the entire time, the woman added. Don't worry, the man beside her said. I've been sneaking bites here and there. Besides, just watching you eat makes me. Looks like I'll have to feed you myself then. Open up, she laughed. Ahahaha. Haesu watched them, thinking, people in love are beautiful. Whether it's an epic romance or a cheesy cliche, it doesn't matter. Love alone is enough to make them shine like stars. I suppose their beauty comes from being young. When you're young, you've still got the courage to love and fall hard. What does that make me then? Stale and well past my prime. Would anyone find my life beautiful? Her coworker tossed a shirt and said, I don't get it. Why do they keep calling you Ajumma? Nobody calls someone your age Ajumma these days. It's so annoying. Well, I am a married woman, you know, Haesu replied. Come on, you can get mad every once in a while. She grabbed Haesu's cheeks and smiled. You know, I don't know any other woman in her 30s who's this pretty. You always wear the same outfit and never put on any makeup, but you're a solid 10 out of 10. Haesu smiled. Flatter me all you want, but you won't get anything out of me. Hey, I'm not trying to get anything. I'm just happy to have such a hot coworker. All right, time to go home, Haesu said, waving goodbye. But her thoughts lingered. Though she was complimenting me, I found myself thinking that her bright smile and open, innocent heart made her more beautiful than any pretty face ever could. The radiant inner light that comes with youth wasn't something that could be replicated by someone like me. Admittedly, a part of me was jealous of that beauty. At home, her husband, Min-cheol, sat with chopsticks in hand. Would it kill you to put on some makeup? You know, most women at least try to look nice when their husbands come home from work. No, we barely have enough money to cover rent, Haesu said. Heh, even girls who work part-time for 1.8 million a month manage to show up with a full face of makeup. Stop making excuses. You're just lazy and you know it. She thought, I wonder if he knows how expensive makeup is these days. It's funny, really. He won't even use 1,000 won on me. You make me look bad when you're walking around with a face like that, he added coldly. Does love expire too? Haesu wondered. Our relationship is just like this damp, aging semi-basement unit. Romance and excitement. I remember we had that once, but they faded even faster than our love did. Did I simply wither with time? Or was it all those long days and nights spent working to desperately fill my emptying bank account? Great, now I don't even feel like eating, Minchil muttered. But her thoughts continued. Did my beauty fade because of you? Or do I only have myself to blame for choosing to love you in the first place? The next morning, her coworker stared at her in disbelief. Whoa, what's all this? K-barbecue on weekday afternoons, motel front desk on weekends, and the flower shop opening shift in the mornings. What the heck? Do you secretly have a time machine or something? How do you even pull this off, haesu? No way you have enough time for all this stuff. Haesu replied calmly, enough gawking. Get your apron on. It's time to open the shop. See? Even now, you're only thinking about work. I bet you're an S. What does that mean? Haesu asked. Mean. Have you never heard of MBTI? No. Dang, did you spend your entire life working or what? Yes. Almost every second of my life was spent working once I became an adult, Haesu thought. The only exception was when I had to go to the ER with the flu at 24. In the early years of our marriage, I was scrambling to build a family without any help from my parents, and then. She remembered that night clearly. Minchil looked at her and said, Haesu, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to give you a good life, I swear, but I screwed up. How much? Haesu asked. Hin. How much money did you borrow under my name? He hugged her, asking, does this mean you're forgiving me? But Haesu only thought I wasn't particularly sad or distraught when I was faced with the mountain of debt. I just felt blank. I figured I'd pay it off eventually if I worked hard enough. But sometimes I'd feel a sudden rush of intense emotion that would make me want to cry. Though the burden of his debt remained with us, it was his love that had disappeared first. At the flower shop, the bell chimed. Welcome in, someone greeted. Haesu's coworker whispered, it's the rose guy. The rose guy, Haesu asked. He's just a really hot guy who comes in and buys roses every single day. All the workers call him that because we don't know his name. You don't mind if I take his order, right? Go ahead, Haesu said. Thanks. Well, it's good to be young, Haesu thought. The coworker greeted him with a bright smile. Hello. Which flowers are you looking to purchase? But the man lifted his head and looked toward Haesu, tapping the table. I'm ready to order. Sorry, Haesu blinked, caught off guard. Could you take my order, please? She remembered her coworker's words. It's the rose guy. He's just a really hot guy who comes in and buys roses every single day. Just a really hot guy? I wouldn't be too sure about that, she thought. Just seems like a weirdo to me. Would that be a bouquet of roses? She asked. He chuckled. Yes. I'm happy you remembered, she thought. Some people live in the spotlight, like the main character from a novel or a movie, while others stay in the shadows, like nameless extras no one cares about. Clearly, the rose guy belonged to the former group, unlike me. Here's the bouquet you ordered, she said, handing it over. Who had always been a nobody, she thought again. Maybe that was why he left such a deep impression on me, during a time when I couldn't afford to care about anything, aside from work and my husband. Her coworker suddenly shouted, oh my gosh. Did you see how he asked you to take his order when I was standing right there? Okay, hear me out. I think you're the reason he keeps coming here. It was like he didn't even notice me. He only drops by on weekday mornings when you're working, and he's never said a single word to me or the owner. Haesu blinked. Vit, I've never seen him before. What? Her coworker cried. He's been buying flowers from us every single day for months. How could you not notice a hottie like that? Haesu thought, really? Every single day? Now that I think about it, I might remember making the same bouquet for someone every morning. Her coworker sighed. I mean, I guess you're way too busy to remember a single customer, but come on. Isn't it normal to remember guys who are that hot? Personally, I still remember this one really hot guy I saw on the subway 10 years ago. Anyway, he's totally into you. Haesu chuckled. Don't be silly. Let's get back to work. I'm being serious, her coworker insisted. He was staring at you the entire time he was in here. He must have been at least 10 years younger than me, so practically a kid. Why would he have a crush on an old lady like me? No. Nowadays, a lot of young guys go for older women. And what makes you think he's not interested in you? I mean, you're beautiful, you know. Right, maybe in another lifetime, haesu said quietly. Oh, come on. Hasn't anyone ever told you that? haesu thought, my coworker did tell me I was pretty, but it was more embarrassing than anything else because I knew she was just trying to make me feel better, an old, withered flower. In a way, it was ironic that the only person who ever complimented me was my coworker and not the man I married. Come on, just give him a chance, her coworker teased. You two would make a cute couple. I'm taken, haesu interrupted. Actually, her coworker gasped. Yes, I had no idea. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, wow, this feels like such a plot twist. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I figured you were really popular, so what's he like? At that moment, Min-cheol tossed his bag onto the floor. I'm home, he said as he took off his jacket. I'm exhausted. Give me something to drink. You got any tea? I have some barley tea, but it's still warm, haesu replied. Throw some ice in there then. I'm taking a shower. After bathing, he sighed in satisfaction. That feels good. He sat beside haesu and cleared his throat. Then, quietly, he reached toward her and thought, I wonder how. She still has all her curves, even though she doesn't work out or diet. Not even my buddy's new girl, the young one, has a body like hers, I guess. haesu really does have a nice body, though she always covers it up with these frumpy clothes. Just look at this rack. I can't even grab all of it in one hand. Dang, now I'm getting turned on. It's been a while, hasn't it? Why isn't she doing anything, though? Hey, haesu. You asleep? No. Then why are you just lying there like a log? You never act cute, funny, or cheerful around me, and now you're gonna be a starfish in bed? You kidding me? I'm just a bit tired, that's all. Tired? I have a job too, you know. Stop acting like some kind of martyr when you're only working a couple part-time gigs. Whatever. Why do I even try at this point? haesu whispered, damn it. haesu's day begins at exactly 6 o'clock in the morning. On the weekdays, she doesn't have to be at the flower shop until 8, but she still wakes up 2 hours early to cook Min-cheol's breakfast. Of course, she makes sure to stay quiet and keep the door closed so she doesn't bother him. A new pot of stew boils on the stove every day because Min-cheol doesn't eat breakfast without stew and hates it when haesu reheats leftovers. On most days, she ends up going to work on an empty stomach to make it on time, despite being the one who cooked breakfast. Morning, haesu, someone greeted. Good morning, she replied as she put on her work jacket. It's okay, she thought. I can wait until lunchtime. When a customer entered, haesu smiled. Welcome in. Is there a certain flower you're looking for today? The man chuckled. Yes, there is a certain flower. It's him, she thought. The rose guy. You're buying a bouquet, correct? She asked. That's right. 10 roses as usual? Yes. Wow, his voice is just as nice as his face, she thought. Low, slow, and so polite. Maybe I wouldn't mind listening to him talk for a bit. Here's your receipt, she said. Would you mind taking a seat? We're backed up on orders, so it might take a while too. He raised his hand and took the slip gently. Did he hear that? She panicked. I feel like it was really loud. How embarrassing. No, I'm sure he didn't notice. Her coworker came in carrying a box, eyes locked on him. It's the rose guy, she thought. Is that his friend or something? Gosh, he even walks like a freaking model. He's definitely over 6 feet tall. Whoever his parents are, thank you for passing on such incredible genes. Here's the bouquet of roses you ordered, haesu said. Take care. As she turned, she noticed a sandwich left on the counter. She rushed outside, calling, "Excuse me, sir. You left your sandwich." He glanced back. Oh, I left it there for you. It's a gift. Pardon, she gasped. Sir, I can't take this, she protested, grabbing his sleeve. Why not? Is it because You don't have anything to drink with it, he asked, handing her his drink. Here you go. I only took a sip. Don't worry, I didn't poison it. This one's a gift too. Her coworker leaned in, whispering with wide eyes, see? He totally has a crush on you. Why else would he have left that sandwich on the counter? Hold on, he got you coffee too. Oh wow, if this isn't a crush, I don't know what is. But in that moment, haesu found herself wondering if she really came across as that sad and helpless. The reflection in the store window showed a woman with a bare, gloomy face, her body covered in pain relief patches, like tape holding together a broken doll. His action didn't feel like interest. It felt like pity, like charity. She thought, if I heard someone's stomach growling that loudly, I probably would have gotten them a sandwich too. But just what if what he'd expressed had actually been interest? Then she'd have to draw a line, right? Still, the mere thought proved she was getting too comfortable here, daydreaming about things that would never happen. What are you gonna do now? Her coworker asked. What do you mean? haesu replied. You said you have a boyfriend. Are you planning on rejecting the rose guy? Or are you gonna break up with your boyfriend and date him instead? Is he going to be your rebound? haesu's voice came calmly. He's not my boyfriend. We're married. Her coworker froze, eyes wide. Oh, is that what you meant when you said you were taken? My bad. I had no idea. But haesu's mind traveled back. She recalled Mincheol's voice, sharp and irritated. Stop telling people we're married, all right? We already got divorced because of the debt, in case you've forgotten. So just keep it private. No one else has to know we're still living together, even though we're divorced. It's fucking embarrassing, her voice now firm. haesu said, yes. I have a husband. I'd appreciate it if we could stop talking about this. Her coworker immediately nodded, of course. I'm sorry. Meanwhile, at Mincheol's office, a cheerful voice called out, Hi Mincheol. I got you coffee. He looked down at the cup. A sticky note was attached with the words, have a nice day. He thought, that's cute. His mind wandered to a past conversation where coworkers whispered, Ari is one of the prettier ones, I'd say. She's only 25, right? It's good to be young. At that age, they're still so fresh and firm. He scoffed internally, fresh and firm. Just listen to this old creep. But then his own thoughts followed. Well, the young ones are quite cute, I guess. Another coworker grinned, Mincheol. I couldn't help but notice Ari's very interested in you. She got all prickly when we asked if she's looking for someone, but the way she looks at you? Phew. She has little hearts shooting out of her eyes. Another chimed in, it's because Mincheol is so handsome. You're 33 and single, huh? That's the perfect age to snatch up a woman like her. Mincheol smirked, yeah, I'm single, all right. Someone clapped him on the back. Give her a shot then. She's definitely easy on the eyes. He flicked his cigarette aside, mumbling, maybe, I will. That night, haesu asked softly, how's work? He grunted, thought you'd never ask. Did you finally remember that I'm working my ass off for you? It sucks. It's hard. What else is there to say? You always have to nag when I'm trying to rest. haesu quickly responded, I'm not nagging. Once your paychecks start coming in, we can chip away at the debt a little faster. Then we can get married again. Mincheol waved her off. Yeah. Sure, we'll get married. Once the debt's gone. I know. You can't do anything without me. Try not to be too pushy about it, though. It's annoying as hell. Makes me want to just get up and walk away, you know. Then he added casually, oh, also, I need cash. Cash, haesu blinked. Yeah, I want some new cologne. She blinked again, surprised. Since when did you wear cologne? He chuckled. All the other guys come to work looking fancy and nice. Even the old farts wear perfume. You seriously want me to be the only one looking like some musty old man? How much do you need? She asked quietly. About 200,000 won. She hesitated. That's a bit expensive. He scowled. Of course it is. I need something from a nice brand. I'm in my 30s, not a college student. You know what? Forget it. Keep your precious money. haesu thought to herself, Mincheol's new job left a sizable dent in our expenses for the month. I hadn't realized just how pricey a new suit and dress shoes could be. Like they say, When you're just starting out in the workforce, you spend more than you earn. No matter how much I try to save, it's like pouring money into a bottomless pit. It simply meant I would have to work more hours. On weekend afternoons and evenings, she worked at the motel. So she decided she'd just take the night shifts at the convenience store. It's fine, she told herself. Just means a little less sleep, that's all. He said he needs about 200,000 won. She continued thinking. I take the 24 hours I'm given, split them into small pieces, and arrange them carefully to squeeze in as much work as possible. The harder I work, the closer we get to becoming a happy family again. Elsewhere, a boy asked with surprise, "What's the occasion, Taeha? I can't even remember the last time you offered to treat us to dinner. And it's K-barbecue too. You sure about this, though? It'll be super loud and crowded. You hate that stuff." He smiled. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I love free food. Who should I call up? Taeha answered. Your friends. Like any of them? Sure. I can already think of a dozen girls who'd trip over themselves just to sit down and eat with you. He thought to himself, what's gotten into him? I thought he was too good for cheap spots like K-barbecue. All right, I've got 2 people coming. You want to head over right now? Yeah, Taeha said, already walking. His friend tilted his head. Weird, he's in such a hurry too. I wonder if it has something to do with how cheerful he seems these days. In the restaurant, a man called out, "Can we get 2 beers here, lady?" haesu replied, coming right up. He sighed, listen, men are simple creatures. As long as he has a smart, caring wife, he'll go out and make money and do everything for his family. haesu suddenly recalled Mincheol's voice, echoing in her head, "You never act cute, funny, or cheerful around me, and now you're gonna be a starfish in bed." Her heart sank. Once upon a time, Mincheol was loving too. But maybe I'm the one who ruined everything for us, because I wasn't smart and caring enough. A voice broke her thoughts. haesu, can't you see all the customers walking in? She turned quickly right. I'm sorry. She stepped forward and greeted, hello, good evening. How many people today? Then she froze. Her heart skipped. Her eyes widened slightly. The rose guy. Taeha's friends smiled, raising their glasses. Thanks for treating us. Yeah, thanks, Taeha. A girl next to Taeha stepped forward and said, 4. haesu blinked in confusion. Sorry. The girl clarified, table for 4. haesu quickly nodded. Oh, my apologies. Right this way, please. As she walked them to their table, her coworker's voice echoed in her head. See? He totally has a crush on you. It's so obvious that he's flirting with you, haesu. Why else would he buy a bouquet every single day? He only ever comes to see you. haesu's heart sank. I never thought he was interested, and I never wanted him to be. And yet, I couldn't so much as glance his way from the sheer embarrassment of having let myself indulge in the meaningless chatter of a young girl. At the table, the girl beside Taeha asked, "Not gonna eat?" Taeha replied quietly, "Don't worry about me. Help yourself." She smiled. Yeah, I was just about to. haesu looked over at them briefly. That must be his girlfriend, she thought. They make a cute couple. I'm sure all the bouquets were for her, too. I got too carried away. Must be all the time I've been spending around these young people at work. I really need to snap out of it. But the girl at the table glanced at Taeha and asked, "Hey, you looking for someone? Why do you keep glancing around?" Another friend raised an eyebrow. Huiji, it's a bit creepy, being so obsessed with Taeha when he doesn't even know who you are. Why do you care where he's looking? Just eat your food. Who cares if he's looking for someone or looking at the damn meat? The girl snapped, "Why don't you keep your fucking mouth shut?" The other friend flared, "What the hell did you just say to me?" Someone else tried to intervene. "Hey, stop it." What? Am I wrong? She's being creepy as hell. Taeha quietly nudged his foot under the table and said calmly, "Dong UK. Don't let the meat burn." He sighed, yeah, I'll just shut up and stuff my face. No need to get all serious on me. The girl turned to Taeha, asking Taeha, "You're staring at that lady, aren't you? You know her?" He chuckled softly, "Yeah, I know her." The girl's eyes widened. I didn't think he'd say that. How do they even know each other? Later, back at home, haesu was folding laundry when she noticed, oh, the seam's ripped. That's a shame. I only bought this a few years ago. I'll just sew it back together. Min-cheol, lying on the floor using his phone, called out, aren't you coming to bed? She answered, I'm sewing. He asked, sewing what? Let me see that. He took the clothing from her hand and scoffed, huh, seriously? You trying to guilt trip me or something? Just throw it out. She replied softly, I can just sew it up and wear it again. But Min-cheol interrupted her, haesu, just look at yourself. No man would like a woman as pitiful as you. Saga thermals, stretched out underwear. Come on, that's just gross. His words reminded her of the foolish little fantasy she had indulged in, if only for a moment. Embarrassment and shame had a way of creeping back, no matter how hard she tried to forget them. Give it back, she said. He asked, oh, are you gonna start sulking now? He grabbed her arm and continued, listen, haesu, you're about as cute and romantic as a stick, but here I am, still living with you. Who else would put up with that? She stared at him and whispered, yeah, here we are, living a life of mundane misfortune, in this cramped semi-basement unit that can't even keep out the biting cold in the winter. And yet, despite it all, you're the only reason I can keep going, Min-cheol. The next morning in the kitchen, she heard the weather report in the background. Expecting rain in the afternoon, likely to continue through the night, she glanced at the umbrellas. If it's going to rain all night, I'll have to grab an umbrella. I can't remember which one actually works. This one works fine. And this one, well, it's not completely broken yet. I'll try to get a few more uses out of it. Min-cheol can take the better one. Meanwhile, at Min-cheol's workplace, someone called out, going somewhere, Ari? She smiled brightly, yes. I'm gonna make coffee for everyone. She walked in and looked around, spotting Min-cheol. Oh, we're already out of instant coffee. I think I left the new box, somewhere around here. Suddenly, she gasped and grabbed his arm. There's a bug. He blinked. What's wrong? There's a bug. I'm terrified of them. I just freeze up whenever I see one. Min-cheol thought, that's pretty adorable. He smiled and said, where is it? I'll get it for you. It's over there. That's weird. He asked, where'd it go? She looked around, confused. I could have sworn it was right here. Did it escape? Min-cheol smirked to himself, well, this is a nice change of pace. haesu would never freak out like this over a bug. Maybe this job isn't too bad after all. At the flower shop, haesu's coworker looked around. Weird, he should be here by now. Who? haesu asked. Her coworker pouted. The rose guy, of course. How am I supposed to survive my shift without seeing his handsome face? Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil, huh? haesu's chest tightened. I don't think I'm ready to face him just yet, she said aloud. I'll be in the back conditioning the flowers. You can take his order. Her coworker gaped, huh? Wait, what do you mean? Taeha approached the counter. haesu's coworker put on her best smile. Huh? Hello. How can I help you? Will it be the usual bouquet of roses? He replied simply, yes, please. She noticed something, frowning. See? He's not even looking at me. Whatever. I'll just make the bouquet. Outside, rain poured steadily. A coworker called out, get home safe, haesu. haesu smiled, thanks. You too. She thought, thankfully, I didn't have to interact with the rose guy. I shouldn't get into the habit of avoiding him, though. Tomorrow, I'll just talk to him like normal. I'm sure I'll get over the embarrassment in a few days. Anyway, it's really pouring out here. I hope Min-cheol took the umbrella to work. She opened the one she'd brought. It was broken. Shoot. It didn't look this bad when I checked it this morning. The convenience store isn't too far, but I know I'll be drenched by the time I get there. But it's supposed to rain all night, so waiting around isn't an option. Poverty, it had a way of eating away at her. It's just an umbrella, but I kept putting it off, telling myself I could get one more use out of it, and now look what happened. What should I do? I could call Min-cheol. No, he'll just get annoyed. He's been so tired lately with his new job. I guess I have no choice but to wait for now. Suddenly, an umbrella opened above her. She looked up. Taeha stood beside her. "Where do you live?" he asked. Haesu hesitated. "Thank you, but it's fine. I live far away. You should head home." He answered gently, "This rain isn't letting up anytime soon. You can share my umbrella." Haesu looked at him and thought. It felt like every single path I took led straight to him, as if the world was mocking me for getting ahead of myself. Well, this might end up being a bit awkward, but I don't want to keep turning him down when he's probably just trying to be nice. She whispered, "Thank you." It wouldn't hurt to walk home with him just this once. Our walk back to my place was much quieter than I'd expected. But even the cramped space beneath the umbrella didn't feel so awkward, thanks to the sound of the rain drowning out everything else. The tall, young man seemed to be walking at half his usual pace, and I wondered if it was because of the pouring rain. I always end up falling behind when I walk with Mincheol, too. He's also on the taller side. Maybe it's a habit he picked up from slowing down for someone special. Hesitantly, Haesu said, "I don't think your girlfriend would be happy if she saw us walking under one umbrella." Taeha looked at her and replied, "What makes you think I have a girlfriend?" She blinked. "Oh, you don't? I thought I saw you with someone at the K-barbecue." He chuckled. "We're not dating. She's just a friend. I swear, I'm telling you the truth." "Right. I believe you," she replied quietly, though in her head she thought, "Right, just a friend." That was an odd thing for me to say. It's not like this is some kind of interrogation. Suddenly, a car sped toward them. Taeha reached out and pulled her back, holding her close. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. The car was coming at us fast, and I didn't want you to get hurt." Haesu caught her breath. "Don't worry about it." She thought, "My gosh, why would anyone drive so fast on a street like this? Wait, why am I standing?" Taeha chuckled. "I'm a good size, aren't I?" "Sorry?" Haesu blinked in confusion. He grinned. "Look, I managed to shield you from all the water because I'm so tall." "Oh, right." I'm starting to think I wasn't mistaken about his intentions, she thought. Why else would he be so nice to someone he barely knows? Look at that. The other side of his coat is soaked, but I'm completely dry. He must be doing that on purpose. Should I ask if he's trying to flirt with me? That way, I'll know where to draw the line between us. She looked at him and asked, "Why are you doing all this for me?" He paused. You caught on. I just want us to be acquaintances." "That won't work," she said flatly. "Now, that's a bit cold. I'm just curious, why won't it work? You have no reason to be acquaintances with an older lady like me. You're still young, and I'm sure you're very popular with girls your age. So, if I'm young and popular with girls, I can't be acquaintances with someone like you?" "That's right. You can't. So, it's best that you stop here. This is where I live. Thank you for walking me home." He looked at her gently. "Do you want us to be strangers from now on?" "Yes, let's be strangers." "Okay, I'll be a good boy." He turned and left without another word. He left without another word, instead of being stubborn like I thought he would. His obedient response mystified me. For some reason, his tall, confident figure seemed to be hiding an aching pain. I don't understand why he's so interested in someone like me. I suppose he's just young and curious. That's what boys around his age do. She stepped inside her home and noticed the umbrella by the door. Oh, looks like Mincheol forgot his umbrella. Suddenly, she recalled a man's voice echoing in her mind. Listen, men are simple creatures. As long as he has a smart, caring wife, he'll go out, make money, and do everything for his family. Maybe I'll go and pick him up from work today. I'm sure Mincheol will like it. She grabbed the umbrella and headed to his office, dialing his number along the way. The person you are trying to reach is not available. Looks like we missed each other. He probably didn't see my text about meeting him here because his phone died. It's my fault for showing up so impulsively. I'll just head back home and... But she froze. Across the street, she saw Mincheol, under a single umbrella with Ari. Ari noticed her. Huh, is she staring at us? Why? Mincheol frowned. Whoa, seriously? You came to pick me up just because it's raining? Then he turned to Ari and said, Ari, this is my relative. Ari gasped. Oh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. She's kind of like a cousin, you know? Mincheol said with a smile. Ari nodded. Got it. He chuckled. Looks like I've got myself an umbrella. You should head home now, Ari. Ari giggled. Sure. See you tomorrow, Mincheol. Once she was gone, Mincheol turned to haesu with an annoyed look. Huh, what the hell has gotten into you now? When did I ever ask you to pick me up from work? After all those years of acting like some emotionless robot, hello? Are we just going to keep standing here in the rain? haesu asked quietly. Who was that? Huh? That woman who was with you. Oh, Ari? She's an accounting clerk at my office. Just an acquaintance. Gosh, ease up a bit, will you? I said she's just a coworker. Am I not allowed to talk to her just because she's a woman? No, I'm just... Honestly, this is getting a bit ridiculous. You might not be aware of this because you have no social life, but normal people are close with their coworkers and friends regardless of their gender. So, stop making a big deal out of nothing. It's embarrassing. In that moment, she remembered Taeha's words, I just want us to be acquaintances. I don't know why I heard his low, gentle voice in that moment, as if I was still standing under his umbrella. Making a big deal out of nothing, I see. I didn't realize I was being so embarrassing again. The next day at the cafe, haesu's coworker groaned. Gah, I want to go home. What's up with all these group orders? It's not even peak season yet. We should be getting paid extra for these, seriously. Feels like I just got run over by a truck. haesu laughed. Why don't you take a break then? I can finish cleaning up. You're an angel, haesu. I swear, if someone walks through that door before I get off work, actually, the rose guy's fine. I need my energy boost. Shoot, another customer. Someone get me out of here. She looked up and froze. No way. It's the rose guy. How is he always so freaking hot? I'm sure he'll want haesu to ring him up again. That's fine. Just means I get to rest for a bit longer. haesu stepped forward. I can help you. But Taeha didn't stop for her. He walked right past, straight to the counter. It had been 2 weeks since that day. Aside from Mincheol getting busier with work, coming home late, sometimes even heading in on weekends, everything else had stayed more or less the same. As for that strange young man, he quickly distanced himself from me right after I told him we should remain strangers. I'll be a good boy. That strangely obedient reply was the last thing he ever gave me before his presence vanished from my life entirely. Like his interest had been nothing more than a brief flicker of curiosity. I told myself it was for the best, that he hadn't really been serious about being acquaintances. After all, the deeper the emotions run, the deeper the scars they leave behind. I glanced at my phone. Strange, Mincheol still hadn't texted me back. I didn't even get to see him last night before falling asleep. I wondered if he was already back at work. Excuse me, I need 4 orders of pork belly at each table. One of the customers called out. I'll bring that right up for you, I replied. Nearby, a group of men were murmuring. How do you feel now that you've finally signed those divorce papers, sir? Feel like you can finally breathe again? Definitely, the man laughed. I'm just happy I don't have to deal with that terrible woman's nagging anymore. And now I can sit next to the pretty employees at team dinners all I want. Ha ha ha. Ha ha, of course, sir, another said, clearly trying to stay in his good graces. You've earned the right to enjoy this new chapter of your life, with the company doing so well and all. Maybe you could even explore some other fish in the sea. Ahem, do you think so? The man chuckled. Well, it's always nice to have a woman to warm your side, I've been thinking. His eyes landed on me. I'd like to snatch up someone like her, he thought. With a nice body and a face that doesn't need a pound of makeup to shine. From what I've seen at the last few team dinners I've held here, she seems hardworking and down to earth, and she can't be more than 10 years younger than me. Also, she must know I'm the owner of the company, since I've been here often enough. Once she knows I'm interested, she'll be over the moon. He raised his voice. Hey you, pour me a drink. Of course, sir. "It'd be my pleasure to," one of his coworkers began. No, not you. I want her to do it for me." His coworker hesitated. Sir, they don't do that here." "What are you waiting for?" "Pour me a drink," the man barked. He slammed the table. "Do you have any clue who I am?" My boss came out from his office. "What's going on?" "Sir, my coworker called. We need your help." Haesu was just doing her job, and that jerk decided to harass her. "I'm the owner of Myri Tech," the man shouted. "Without my money, your little restaurant wouldn't survive another day." My boss tried to de-escalate. "Excuse me, sir. May I ask what's going on here?" "Oh, perfect timing," the man smirked. "You're the owner, right? It's absolutely ridiculous that your employee thinks she can speak to me like this, after all the business I've brought to this place in this economy." "Of course, sir," my boss said politely. "Please allow me to apologize on her behalf. I'll bring out some more pork belly for your table on the house." "No," the man interrupted. "I want her to kneel and beg for forgiveness." How dare she reject me? He fumed internally. She's just a nobody who serves meat at a K-barbecue. I'll put her in her place. My boss kept his voice steady. "Sir, I understand your frustration, but please remain respectful to my employees." "What did you just say?" "Respectful?" The man's voice rose. "You think you can get in my face just because your little hole in the wall has been getting some business during a recession, huh? I know every restaurant owner around here. One word from me, and you won't see a single customer walk through that door." I lowered myself to the floor. "I sincerely apologize." "Haesu," my boss shouted. I looked up at him. I misspoke. "We'll do our best to make things right." "Come on, Haesu," he said. "You don't have to do this." "No, sir," I replied. "I should have handled the situation better. Once again, I apologize. Please, come back and dine with us again." Later, my boss approached me. "I heard about what happened. There was no need for you to apologize like that, Haesu. He was just being creepy and obnoxious." "I know he usually brings a large group of employees when he comes in," I explained, "since he runs a big company. Losing him as a customer would have really hurt your revenue, since not many companies do team dinners nowadays. I couldn't do something like that, not after everything you've done for me." He exhaled. "Oh, Haesu, life can be bleak, I know. Some people are just terrible, and sometimes it's just obstacle after obstacle." "I'm all right," I said, and I meant it. I'd rushed into part-time work at a young age, and I'd been yelled at more times than I could count. There was once a time when I couldn't even sleep, mulling over all the hurtful things I'd heard. But the wounds on my heart eventually scabbed over, fading into scars that dulled the pain. "You said you usually walk home, right?" my boss asked. "Come on, I'll give you a ride." "Thank you, sir, but it's all right," I smiled. "I just started working the night shift at a convenience store." "Another job," he said. "When do you get the time to rest then? That kind of schedule can't be good for you." "It's really not too bad," I replied. "I only work at the convenience store on the weekends." He hesitated. "I really didn't want to pry, but is your debt really that serious?" My mind flashed back. "Stop it. Please, just stop." Minchiel's voice echoed in my memory. "I swear we'll pay you back." "I'm so sorry. Once we pay off this debt, we can get married again, and we'll live happily ever after." "Yes," I had said. Even now, just the brush of wind against the door made me flinch, afraid the debt collectors had come back. But still, I dreamed of a brighter future with every step. The way she begged on her knees. The man from earlier laughed to himself. Asterisk, I bet she knows her place now. Should have just poured me that darn drink when I asked nicely. This is exactly why you have to put them in their place early on, no matter how pretty they are. Otherwise, they'll think they can get away with anything just because you're nice to them. Now that I've given her a little scolding, I'll turn on the charm next time. Women love a man who can be cold and gentle at the same time, right? Maybe next week I can pull her aside and... Before he could finish that thought, Taeha rushed him and kicked him to the ground. "Damn it," the man shouted. "What in the world? What the hell do you think you're doing? Get over here. I'll teach you a lesson." Taeha grabbed him. "A lesson? I also have a lesson for you. That hurts. My precious hair. Hit me, Taeha said. What? I said, hit me. You think you can talk to an adult like that, you little shit? Well, you're asking for it now. I used to box back in my prime. The man lunged for Taeha. Good, Taeha muttered. Do you have any clue who I am? Huh. Why the hell should I care who you are? I see. In that case, I'll just have to teach you. Later that night, during my shift, I was wiping tables. I didn't think the night shift would be so much work. Still, it's nice being able to focus on work without having to deal with customers. Maybe I'll rest my legs for a bit. Nobody comes in around this time anyway. The bell above the door rang. Welcome in, I began, but froze. Huh, the rose guy? Can I even call it a coincidence at this point? I've already seen him at 2 of my jobs, and now he's here too. Maybe we just live in the same neighborhood. I can't even ask someone else to take his order for me. I'm the only one here. Well, we're supposed to be strangers now. I'll just treat him like any other customer. Wait, what happened to his face? Wait, what happened to his face? All those bruises and that busted lip. It was obvious someone hit him. What kind of horrible person would beat up a kid like this? She had told him they should be strangers, but still. This won't be enough, sir. If you cover it with a bandage without any ointment, it could get worse, or leave a scar, she said quietly, but Taeha remained silent. haesu thought to herself, he's probably thinking I'm too nosy. After what I said to push him away, it's a bit ridiculous that I'm giving him advice now. Suddenly, Taeha leaned toward her and asked, could you teach me how to do it properly? Then, there it was again, that oddly submissive tone. She looked at him and said, you're much younger than me, aren't you? I might as well drop the formalities then. Follow me. Drop the formalities. She repeated the words in her head. How could she even complain? She walked with Taeha outside and handed him a small cream. Here. It should heal the scratches right away. He looked at it and said, I don't know how to use it. She blinked. What? Of course you do. Then she sighed. Fine. Give it to me. This might sting a bit. She placed the bandage on his face. Taeha winced. Ow, she asked. Oh, does it hurt a lot? He replied softly, no, it just tickles. How old are you? She asked curiously. I'm an adult, he replied. But that still didn't answer her question. What a strange kid, she thought. Why are you going around picking fights if you're an adult? She asked. I'm not, he said gently. Really? I'm looking right at the bruises, you know. I wasn't looking for trouble, I swear. She sighed, I guess, and then he added, I just come from a troubled family. In that moment, something in haesu softened. The strange young man reminded her of her own childhood, shaped by never-ending violence and poverty. It was game over. Her heart ached when she looked into his deep, bruised eyes, and she knew she couldn't simply ignore him anymore. It almost looks like you feel bad for me, Taeha said. Yes, haesu replied. Last time, you asked if we could be acquaintances. Let's do it. We can be just acquaintances. His eyes lit up and he asked, can I call you Nuna asterisk then? She quickly shot him down. No, too much. Just call me Ajumma, he chuckled. Haha, sure. What a relief, Taeha thought to himself, at least, I managed to get your pity. Only a crappy little company like this would go all the way to the 3rd round in this day and age. Oh well, it's better than going back to that dingy semi-basement unit. Minchio lifted a bottle and said, let me pour you a drink, Ari. She hesitated, another one. I think I've had a bit too much already, sir. He leaned in with a teasing tone, Are you really going to turn down a drink from me? No, I mean, she started, but he cut her off. Come on, give me your glass. I don't want to see a single empty glass at this table. This is supposed to be somek asterisk, and there's like, maybe a single drop of beer in there. Ari glanced at her glass and thought, it basically just looks like soju, honestly. These guys are so gross. Minchiol's the only reason I'm putting up with 3 rounds of this team dinner. He offered her a drink again. Here, he said. Ari's eyes widened. Minchiol whispered, shhh. You can sip on that. It's just beer. She looked at him in awe. Oh my gosh, how can he be so considerate? He's perfect. Someone at the table shouted, Mincheol. I don't think you've ever told us about your dating life. I won't be that guy who asks what your type is. So, let me flip the question. What kind of women don't you like? Mincheol took a sip of his beer and smirked. Let me think. I can't stand women who are cheap, boring, unromantic, and lounge around in old, stretched-out Johnnies because she doesn't want to try anymore now that she's married. An ajumma, basically. The table erupted in laughter. I think we can all relate to that, someone said. Another coworker added, sometimes you sound just like us married men, even though you're single. I like it. You know, I'm surprised by how detailed your description was. I've heard celebrities keep it vague when they're single, but get oddly specific once they're in a relationship. Maybe that's also the case for you. Are you sure? You don't actually go for ajummas? Mincheol chuckled. Of course not. I prefer women who are cute, fashionable, and young. I would never date some cheap, frumpy ajumma. Meanwhile, somewhere else, haesu turned to Taeha and asked, What's your name? It's Taeha. Taeha BM, he answered. She thought, Taeha, even his name is unusual. I hope I'm not making a big mistake by doing this. And Mincheol still hasn't responded. He must be very busy. I won't bother him with any more texts. He's probably stressed about work already. Mincheol, glancing at Ari, said, I need to know where you live, Ari. I can call a cab for you if you think you can make it home. She slurred slightly, Mincheol. He leaned closer, yes. She suddenly hugged him, murmuring, You're different from all those old, disgusting men. I like you so much. So why do you keep saying all those things? Almost like you've had dozens of girlfriends before. He smiled and asked, Do you wanna have another drink? Just the two of us. At the night shift, haesu held her phone tightly in her hand as a heavy thought clung to her mind. Unease has a way of clinging to you, like the suffocating humidity of a summer night or sticky tar melted into hot, soft asphalt. It becomes a part of you, hanging in the air and seeping into your skin. It's like the world is reminding her that she could still fall further, even though she thought she had been living at rock bottom her whole life. As she left the shop, someone called out, Take care. Thank you. Have a good shift. Walking alone on the way back, she sighed. Night shifts really were exhausting. Maybe she could squeeze in a short nap before heading out for work. But when she entered the room, she froze. There, on the bed, Mincheol was fast asleep with someone else. Her thoughts stumbled. Oh, did he not come home? Outside, Mincheol casually explained, Yeah, I crashed at a bathhouse nearby because the team dinner was lasting a while. How old do you think I am? I bet you were seconds away from filing a missing persons report. Weren't you the one nagging me to get a job anyway? Of course, I'm not home as much now. I'm a working man. Whatever. I'll be home when I'm home. I'm hanging up. haesu stared at her phone after the call ended. Was I overreacting again? It was that familiar pang of anxiety. She simply tried to convince herself that everything was fine, that she had no reason to be scared if he was acting so nonchalant. In hindsight, she realized how clueless she had been. She didn't see it then. Her love was silently withering away. Elsewhere, a boy with a backpack stepped down the stairs. Hey, Jihu, Taeha called. Jihu chuckled nervously. Hi, Taeha. What's up? His thoughts raced. What the heck? He remembers my name. What does he want with me? It's not like we're friends. Haven't talked to you in a while, Taeha said gently. Haha, yeah, Jihu hesitated, then asked, if you don't mind me asking, how do you know who I am? Taeha smiled and replied, we were in the same homeroom as second years. I know, but Jihu couldn't believe it. In school, Taeha had always been with the popular kids, while he only hung out with the nerds. He had a good reputation for never bullying the quiet kids, but there was still no reason for someone like Taeha to remember someone like him. Jihu. Yeah, could you do me a quick favor? Jihu panicked. Shoot. Don't tell me he tracked me down after all these years just to take my cash. What kind of favor? He asked nervously. What size shoes do you wear? My shoe size? 11.5. Pretty big for my height, I know. Taeha chuckled. Perfect. Would you mind swapping shoes with me? Jihu's eyes widened. Taeha's shoes were a luxury brand, worth nearly $1,000,000. His own shoes were worn and practical, maybe 50,000 won at best. Why? What was he even trying to do? You don't want to? Taeha asked softly. No, I would love to. Are you sure about this? Your shoes are so much more expensive. Jihoo thought to himself, I can't tell if this is some new form of bullying. Yes, I'm sure. Thank you, Jihoo. I appreciate it, Taeha said. Sure, no worries, he replied, but inside he screamed, don't thank me. You just made the worst trade in history. Take care, Taeha said as he turned to leave. You too, Jihoo replied. Watching him go, he thought, I guess all those girls were right about him. He's definitely not a bad person, but it's impossible to tell what he's thinking. It's like he exists in a different reality all by himself. Later, Taeha was sitting alone, AirPods in his ears. Huiji walked over and asked, What are you listening to? Curious, she took one earbud and listened. What the, is this trot asterisk? The lyrics echoed in her mind, I love you, Ajumma. You're so lovely. Ajumma. I can't get enough of you. I love you, Ajumma. Taeha smiled. Isn't it nice? Huiji blinked, still baffled. He can be so freaking weird sometimes. Hey, Taeha. What's up with those shoes? She asked. What do you mean? He replied. I mean, they're obviously not yours. Since when do you wear crap like that? Aren't they nice? Are you being serious? Of course I am. You're so weird, she muttered. From a distance, a boy pointed. Hey, look. Isn't that Huiji? Looks like she's hanging with Taeha. Dang, I wonder why all the girls love him so much. I know so many who are dying to get his number. His friend replied, You know something he has that you'll never have? That face. Maybe try looking in a mirror sometime. Shut up. So you're one of his followers now? Just because he hangs out with you doesn't mean you're his friend. Besides, do you really want to talk to him after he stole Huiji from you? Yeah. Shut it. At the flower shop, haesu's coworker turned to her. I'm sorry, haesu. About what? I'm just thinking, I was wrong about the rose guy being interested in you. Nowadays, he only asks me to ring him up. Kind of feel bad about getting you all excited. Oh, haesu responded, trying not to sound disappointed. She recalled what she had said before, let's do it. We can be just acquaintances. Maybe it's best her coworker didn't know about that. I can't wait for him to come in. Even his voice is so nice to listen to, hee, the coworker gushed. haesu forced a smile. Yeah, I'll keep it to myself. I don't want to ruin her mood. The bell chimed as Taeha entered the shop. Welcome in, her coworker called out. haesu turned and saw his face and nearly gasped. What the heck? Who did that to his beautiful, gorgeous face? Taeha leaned in toward her and said, I'm looking for some flowers. Right, she replied quickly, but inside she was reeling. He's standing so close. What kind of flowers would you like? She started. I'm sure you already know. After all, we're acquaintances now, he said with a faint smile. She stuttered, I'll get the bouquet of roses for you then. Just a moment, please. Do you have any promotions for acquaintances? He asked. I'm afraid not. Maybe an employee discount for an acquaintance? No, she answered firmly. Nearby, her coworker thought, what in the world? Since when were they so close? Taeha smiled gently. All right then. Do you have any plans after work? Keep this up, haesu warned, and I'll give you a scolding. Taeha's eyes softened. A scolding. He would love that. Outside the flower shop, haesu looked at him and said, You wanted to know what I'm doing after work. I'm heading straight to my next job. I can't afford to spend time with you. Taeha nodded gently, I know. Surprised, she asked, You do? He gave a faint smile. I saw you at the K-barbecue place last time, remember? Oh, right, she blinked. Taeha added softly, It's a shame you don't have much time to spend with your new acquaintance. haesu shrugged. That's what being an adult is like. He tilted his head. Really? Then I hope I never become one. haesu glanced at him, thinking he's definitely on the younger side. So how is he so broad and tall? What are they feeding the kids nowadays? Noticing her gaze, Taeha asked, Is there something on my face? She stared for a moment before asking, You're over 6 feet tall. aren't you?" She silently compared him to Mincheol, who was just over 5'9", but taeha definitely looked taller. He nodded. "I am." "You're pretty good at guessing guys' heights." She smiled awkwardly. "You could say that." In her thoughts, she added, "After all, I've been living with one for 13 years, and I used to pick out all his clothes and underwear." taeha asked, "Am I allowed to be jealous?" Startled, haesu responded, "There's no need for that. You're much taller than him." "Did I say something funny?" He chuckled. "Don't worry about it. Can I walk you to the restaurant at least?" She nodded, "Sure." As they walked, taeha glanced at her and thought, "Haesu, you're too cute and naive." haesu looked down and noticed his shoes, tattered, worn out, but somehow stylish. "I never realized how tattered his shoes are. Still, they look stylish. I guess a good face really does complete the outfit. I wish he'd buy himself a new pair of shoes instead of wasting money on something useless like flowers." "Can you afford to buy flowers every single day?" she asked. "I'm sure that money could have been put to better use." taeha looked ahead and replied, "Maybe, maybe not. I may not have much, but I can still treat myself to a bouquet of roses." His voice, so deep and slow, blossomed like a splash of color on her monochrome world. Suddenly, she felt ashamed of being so jaded and cheap, that she had dared to scold someone else. Although she made bouquets for customers every single day, it had never occurred to her to make one she could take home, not even as a small gift for herself. "No, you're right," she whispered. "Thank you for walking with me today." taeha smiled. "Then maybe we could walk together more often." At Mincheol's office, Ari glanced at her phone. Where'd Mincheol go? Is he on a smoke break again? Nearby, a coworker leaned toward Mincheol and smirked. "I saw you've got something going on with Ari. You sure snagged a pretty one, huh?" I was surprised, honestly. She used to act like she was too good for any of us. Behind the wall, Ari froze, overhearing every word. "But you better be careful. Once women get older, they all become shallow and materialistic, caring about money more than looks, you know." The coworker laughed. "You just have to get between their legs, and they won't know what to do without you. That's how you tie them down when they're still young. Or have you already done it?" Mincheol exhaled sharply. "Songwon, you're an assistant manager, correct?" "Right. What does that have to do with, after all those years, you're still an assistant manager?" Mincheol stepped closer. "Shouldn't you be off trying to get promoted?" His tone turned cold. "And try not to snicker so much while you're monologuing. It pisses me off. Maybe you're having fun, but I'm really not. I'll see you inside." As he walked away, Songwon's joy tightened. "That son of a bitch." Mincheol, on the other hand, muttered under his breath while opening the office door. "That loser. I bet he's only ever interacted with women at strip clubs." But before he could finish the thought, Ari rushed forward and hugged him tightly. At first, she had been hesitant to take things further, because she had heard men lose interest after sleeping with a woman. She feared it had progressed too quickly. But he showed her he wasn't like the others. No, he was one of a kind. "How did I get so lucky?" She held him closer. "I want him to be mine. I won't let anyone else have him." Back home, Mincheol left a note behind for haesu. "I made the short ribs you like. If it's cold, warm it up before you eat dinner." He was having dinner with Ari. Meanwhile, haesu sat alone on a chair as her phone rang. It was taeha. She glanced at the screen, thinking, there's an air of innocence about him. I can tell he hasn't been worn down or jaded just yet. He acts just the way someone his age should, with just enough love and excitement for life to buy himself roses. A customer walked in. haesu stood and asked, "Hello, sir. How can I help you?" The man handed her his driver's license. "Give me a room." "Here, I'll pay by card, of course. That'll be 50,000 won. I want some girls too, pretty ones." haesu kept calm. "Sir, I'm afraid I need your credit card for the transaction." "Huh. I just gave you my card. Where's my room?" "I need you to calm down, sir." Another man entered. "Do you have any vacancies?" "Oh, yes." "Will you be staying overnight?" she asked politely. The drunk man muttered, "I need someone to warm my bed." The man in the black coat handed over his card and said calmly, I'll reserve every room you have available. haesu blinked. Sorry. Every single one. Meanwhile, taeha received a text. I sent him away, sir. The drunk customer stumbled back toward taeha. They don't want to take my darn money, huh? Another added, what kind of crummy motel? Hick. Doesn't have any vacancies? Back inside, haesu's coworker was stunned. My gosh. Seriously? It's been ages since all the rooms were full. Maybe there was some kind of event nearby. She smiled warmly at haesu. You know what? I feel like celebrating. Go ahead and head home early today, haesu. Haesu chuckled. Thank you. Have a good night. On her way home, she thought, I figured it was my lucky day. Even the dark, shadowy path home felt strangely comforting, illuminated by the relief of knowing I'd finally get some rest. That's probably why I didn't see the monster that was looming behind me. In the kitchen, haesu was making food when her phone buzzed with a text from taeha. It's supposed to be really cold today. Make sure to dress warm. As she picked up 2 bottles, another message arrived. Don't work too hard. She paused, heart fluttering slightly. His youth reminded her of spring. Even her frayed sleeves seemed to smell of fresh blooms whenever he texted her out of the blue. Meanwhile, taeha's friend looked at him curiously. What are you smiling at? Did someone piss you off? Taeha smiled faintly. Someone left me on read. His friend's eyes widened. Huh. I didn't know that could happen. Wait, is it a girl? Taeha simply said, yeah, and that left his friend speechless. What the? He's talking to a girl who leaves him on read. Does Huiji know about this? Back at home, haesu continued cooking when Mincheol came up behind her, slipping his arms around her waist. What are you making? She replied softly, just some seaweed stew. Here, let me do a taste test, he said playfully. Be careful. It's hot, she warned. Cool it down for me then. So she blew on a spoonful and offered it to him. How is it? She asked. He smiled. It's good. I knew I was signing up for amazing cooking when I married you. But his thoughts painted a different picture. He wasn't particularly feeling guilty about sleeping with another woman for the past few days. When he was showering haesu with sweet words he'd normally never say, watching her cook breakfast in their dingy semi-basement unit, he felt only a flicker of pity. That's all. After all, he knew she'd always be there, caring for him, no matter where his eyes wandered. Who knows? Maybe cheating really does bring couples closer. haesu looked at him carefully. What's the matter with you? Did something happen? No, he waved her off. I just wanted to say thanks for giving me the money to buy new cologne. Oh, did you buy one? She asked. Not yet, he admitted. I guess I've been a bit busy, and I felt bad for taking the money, knowing how hard you work for it. haesu gave him a gentle smile. Don't worry about it. Buy something nice for yourself. Mincheol looked at her and thought, my kind, caring, loyal, and boring wife. haesu hesitated. Mincheol, just stay still for a second. I really have to finish this stew and go to work, but Mincheol wasn't paying attention to her words. He was busy making inappropriate comparisons in his head. They're definitely bigger than Ari's. He touched her ears, trailing his fingers playfully. She tried to stay composed. Mincheol, I really have to get to work on time, he thought to himself. She's about as cute as a brick, and nothing I do gets a reaction out of her. Maybe that's why I love watching her get so flustered when I'm touching her like this. Look at the way she's blushing. Fine, he said with a smirk. I'll stop trying to get in your pants. She turned to him, unsure. Are you angry at me? Of course not. What do you think I am, some kind of animal? Have fun at work. And as she left, he thought, to me, haesu is like a flower I plucked as a thoughtless little boy, one that's lost all its thorns and can no longer survive without me. Just a pretty and boring flower. Later that night, Mincheol was lying in bed texting Ari. He thought, maybe I'll take her with me to go cologne shopping. But it was haesu who gave me the money for it. He remembered the last time they were at the shopping mall. haesu had paused in front of a suit, eyes widening at the price tag. So many zeros. See anything you like? He had asked. No, not really, she replied quickly. You like that one? No. I was just looking, he smirked. You know that's a luxury brand, right? I bet that purse is at least several million won. Really? She asked in disbelief. She didn't know a purse could be that expensive. Let's just go home, he said. And as he turned away, he thought, I could have gone without remembering something like that. Whatever. There's no point in going with haesu. It's not like she knows anything about brands. I'll go with Ari. Meanwhile, on the other side, a man handed taeha some photographs and a letter. He burned them without hesitation. During her night shift, haesu sat quietly, her head heavy. Her phone buzzed again, another message from taeha. Can I see you for a bit after work? She blinked. Strange. Did something happen? I can't stop worrying about him after seeing him all scraped up like that. I'm sure he can take care of himself, but still. Let's see, I'll be getting off soon, so I should have a few minutes to talk to him before my convenience store shift. Maybe that'll wake me up a bit. After her shift, she met with taeha. She looked him over and asked, You look a bit different today. Really? He asked. Yes, she said. The way he's dressed makes him seem much more mature. I only have a few minutes. Do you have another shift to go to? He asked. Yes. That's okay. I'll walk you to the convenience store. She raised an eyebrow. Strange, when did I mention where I'm headed? taeha said calmly, It's dangerous walking through these alleys at night. Look how dark it is. I'll be fine, she replied. I'm too old to be scared of the dark. taeha chuckled, but I'm not. You're basically a walking wall, with how tall you are, she said with a hint of teasing. He laughed, haha. Want me to walk behind you then? Don't be silly, she exhaled. Just walk beside me. Okay, he nodded. As they walked, taeha moved behind her and gently grabbed her arm. This story is only just beginning. If you've been captivated by it, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what happens next. More secrets, betrayals, and twists await. Until then, stay curious.